Hey there, it's Tim. So I called this post a strong finish. And the reason for that is because the finish, the ending of your presentation, that's one of the key areas where people are going to remember you. In speeches, it's the opening and the closing, and in a business presentation, really, it's the opening and closing as well. People are going to decide whether they want to listen to you or not within the first 7 to 30 seconds that you're presenting. And if you've done your job properly and kept your audience captivated for the entire time of your presentation, then at the end, they're going to be wanting to know exactly what we need to do next. And so how do you build that influence? Well, there's 3 things that you need to keep in mind whenever you're finishing your presentation. So number 1, you want to outline what are the key decisions that have been made during your presentation. If there's been a decision amongst a committee of people, or if there was just a decision taken in terms of the direction that the presentation would go next, make sure that you get that agreement and alignment at the end as well, so there are no misunderstandings. Number 2, you want to outline key next steps. You want to make sure that any action items that were taken, whether it was by you or somebody else in the presentation, that it is noted. Follow up with an email or summary of everything that has taken place in that presentation should be done as well, so that again there are no clear misunderstandings of who was in the room, what decisions were made, and what actions to be followed up on next should be taken. And then finally, if possible, a preview. This is the 3rd item, a preview of what's next. So if you're giving a presentation on whether or not you should move forward on a specific project, at the very end of your presentation, number 1, you're going to make sure that you outline any key decisions on that project that were taken during the meeting or during the presentation given. Number 2, you're going to outline the next action steps taken that were decided upon. And then number 3, what is that preview of that next meeting going to look like? So at the next meeting, we're going to decide upon the 1, 2, 3, whatever number of actions that were taken, or we're going to come up with a final decision based on the actions being completed. And those actions need to be completed by X date in order for that preview meeting that is scheduled at a certain time or planned for a certain time to be done. So keep that in mind, your strong finish to your presentation. You want to make sure those 3 things. Number 1, any key decisions that people have been brought upon or have taken during the time. Number 2, what are those key next steps? And 3, what's a preview of the follow-on meeting or presentation that's to be taken place? Maybe, again, something to consider if it needs a higher level of approval perhaps, or if there's someone else whose interests need to be taken into consideration, that they're invited and given an update of what's taken place so far. So that's it, strong finish. Make sure that you're finishing strong so that you're remembered and building that influence because you're in command. You have set the tone. You know exactly what you have to say throughout your time, and that you've reiterated it to the audience in a couple of key ways, and so that everyone is clear on where you're going and where you're taking them on the journey. Look forward to sharing more influential presenting tips with you tomorrow. Have a great day.